Emerging markets play two critical roles. One as a place to manufacture product, and two as a place to sell product. As a place to manufacture product, we've seen plenty of companies go into China, Brazil, India, Vietnam, other places like that.
Certainly the Middle East is one that's been talked about as an area that, notwithstanding some of the political conflicts there, it's an area that will open up significantly over the next 5 to 10 years.
There are key aspects that someone needs to consider as they're growing in those markets.
Whether that's really the talent of the labor pool in a particular region, like India, whether it's the regulatory environment, whether it's tax or incentives or otherwise, the infrastructure environment to ship from A to B, to get it in the country, out of the country.
Once you're there, and as you start to do as you start to look at the investment targets, or as you start to broaden and develop your business, it's really understanding the cultures and understanding the nuances that are applicable to a workforce that are going to be working to develop your particular widget, if you like.
It's very competitive, and my advice to clients who are trying to enter is to try to enter by pretty much establishing joint ventures or trying to find the right partnerships for them. That's the easiest way to enter a market like that, and carefully analyze the options that they have in terms of partnerships. From a perspective of growing their existing business, there is really taking a hard look at their footprint in terms of demand, and also overall cost in terms of expanding that footprint.
At the end of the day, there's some very basic issues that will affect any company going into a high growth market. First of all, it's the tax structures and incentives related to those tax structures. It's also looking at a very clear understanding of where you're going to invest. In other words, doing the correct market entry due diligence process.
I think what most companies are evaluating today is, where's the next tranche of demand? The role of government is increasingly important. So what's the healthcare situation look like? What's the energy policy environment look like, and what does that mean for diversified industrial companies? What's the infrastructure environment look like? And then of course, what's the regulatory environment, so that if I make a profit in a particular country but it's all taxed away, then that's not good either.
Instead of trying to say, go after China, or you have to be in India, or you have to be in both. If you are looking to be a global manufacturer, what's that mean in terms of where things are shifting? And then how do I make sure that the models I have in place help me understand the changes in my environment, and then how I need to respond to those changes?
Focus on your cost, focus on your customers, understand the markets, pay attention to all the new factors, governments, sovereign wealth funds, you can raise capital now in 25 or 30 countries. You don't have to just go to the New York Stock Exchange. And so the world has changed, and it's a little bit like thinking countries are going to always speak English. You have to be willing to speak somebody else's language in today's new world.